14 years. Good Lord, I cannot even fathom that as I even speak those words. But yes, welcome everybody to the newest episode of the MAWBR Podcast. I decided to finally bring this back after, I think, almost a year? I think it's been since that certain episode that I did back in November of last year. But I wanted to take this episode to finally reflect on the fact that as of this episode's posting, August 11, 2024, it has now been 14 years since I first started posting to this platform. Holy crap, I still cannot fathom that even after 30 seconds of even saying that in the first time. But it's just like, it is so crazy to think about after all these years I am still here. After all the hijinks and all the other shenanigans that have gone on. Because, of course, I think everybody's heard the story of my beginning and everything. If not, it's time to revisit it again. Imagine being 18 years old, not yet starting college yet, and you're bored out of your mind sitting in front of a desktop PC that's running on Windows Vista, which I almost give myself a twitch just fucking thinking about. Never run that operating system, by the way. But you're sitting there bored, and you also have a netbook right in front of you. You have no clue about screen recording software. And you want to do something to occupy your time during your summer. So, I mean, when I was going through that, I thought to myself, hey, I've got a YouTube channel, and this was the original Zuniga is the Man channel, which I think I had to have made around... I think I've had to have made that back in 2008 at the earliest. But it became that typical thing like everybody else does. You make a channel just to watch content. You don't have any actual right away and immediate intention on uploading content. We've all been there, I'm sure. So I decide, hey, why don't I record videos and put them on YouTube just to give myself something to do? Because, I mean, you gotta find something to pass the time when you're bored. So, with my netbook, which I still have to this day, the very netbook that I started making YouTube content and recording content with, I still have in my possession and still works, thankfully. I eventually even went back and checked it, and thankfully the files are still there. But because I did not know how this whole screen recording software stuff was going on until much later, I took my netbook with the 240p webcam on top of it, turned it around, and was recording the screen that we had for the Windows X Vista computer there at the time. And I recorded gameplay of the video game Wrestling Encore by Matt Dickey just to do something. No commentary. Did not show myself. I mean, I remember I did a reaction video to that a while ago, but recorded that, and because we did not have internet access here at the house, I had to find another way to upload it. So on August 11, 2010, went to McDonald's and uploaded that video to the McDonald's Wi-Fi, which I do not recommend because that not only it's mostly because they run an AT&T internet, and from personal experience, AT&T's upload speeds are not very good. So do not do that if you're trying to upload a YouTube video, right? There are plenty of better alternatives there. But that became my go-to thing of how to upload content for a little while, because it became stuff like Wrestling Encore gameplay, just purely out of boredom. And then shortly after that, I do remember, because I'm sure we've all been there to where when we're starting YouTube content and content creation, you do what you have to work with in terms of like software and equipment and everything. So of course, the typical thing to use at the beginning was Windows Movie Maker. Did not know anything about the existence of Vegas Pro or Adobe Premiere or anything like that. Just standard Windows Movie Maker just to get started. And I remember I even did like a slideshow, like text video, trying to speculate who was going to be the anonymous Raw general manager when that whole storyline was going on in WWE. I thought it was going to be Triple H at the end. And unfortunately, it would end up being Hornswoggle because they canned the storyline, brought it back, just be like, hey, Hornswoggle's the reveal to be the answer to this thing. Just like when we had to find out who was Vince McMahon's illegitimate bastard son. Just throw Hornswoggle in the role. So then it took until, I even remember when I was in college, I did make a video that I also showed in a college class about, like, I can't remember what it was. It was something involving English about doing like research and like a presentation on a topic, and I decided to talk about Asperger's syndrome because those who may or may not know, because I've never really concerned myself to talk about this, I was diagnosed when I was 12 or 13, so I decided to make a video talking about that, and I might still have it. I think I might still have it from all the way back in 2010, 2011-ish. But I remember doing that for one of my college classes because I was going to do, I think I might have had some other topic in mind, but I changed my mind, so I went with autism and everything just for educational purposes. So I ended up doing that, but I do remember I kept doing what I could to keep my voice and face off, just being in videos and everything, just because, of course, nervousness. I'm sure we all have that common fear. When you first start trying to make content and everything, you're going to be nervous to be on camera if you're not used to it. Nervous to have your face being put out there, or your voice, or even just talking to a camera. So those nerves are going to kick in until you start getting used to it. So I did not do the whole being on camera and talking thing until around May or June-ish of 2011. It was somewhere in there because I do remember that's when I first finally started talking about professional wrestling in terms of actually being on here and speaking. So it was like a raw review, and I decided I went with the name TheDoubleZTV, like for the video segment. I'm sure there are still videos here on the channel where it says TheDoubleZTV, like with the spaces and everything, where I took that netbook, hid in the, like a certain like closed or small area in the same living room that I recorded the original videos in, just to try to get a little bit of peace or privacy, which didn't always work, and started talking on camera. And of course I was so nervous that my voice was either stuttering or low pitched because, again, nervous being on camera. But I told myself, power through it, because it was something I wanted to do. Just getting on camera and talking about wrestling and doing this other form of content, instead of just being like text-based stuff on freaking Windows Movie Maker and all that shit. So, and it took until the 10th episode of TheDoubleZTV, where I had that toy spinner belt, which I still thankfully have to this day. It's up in the closet, the toy version of the WWE spinner belt. I pulled it out on camera because the 10th episode of TheDoubleZTV, I did like a Q&A video. And for the very first time I said on my show, I'm the champ, while spinning that toy belt. And it took until like years later for me to upgrade to a replica belt, but I mean, again, you have to work with what you got. Didn't have like all this equipment and like the replica belts or anything, so work with what you got and make the most of it. Well, also during the time when I had the original channel, I started to go through copyright problems with WWE, because I also did like these compilation videos with WWE content, like OMG moments, entrances, maybe some botches. I can't remember if I did ones about botches, but I expanded some content. But WWE was cracking down on copyright and everything. First strike I remember getting, late August 2011, I made the dumb mistake of taking a clip from SummerSlam 2011 after the show recently happened, because I posted like the clip of Sheamus getting blasted through the barricade by Mark Henry at the end of their SummerSlam match in 2011, and shortly thereafter when I posted the clip, copyright strike by WWE. Not a fun thing there. Then January 2012 got the second strike because I did a video called Royal Rumble 2000 All Match Finishes. So going in chronological order, showing like the last couple minutes of each match at the Royal Rumble. And that was when I also noticed the sign that the video was going to get a strike, but I didn't know it at first, but I saw a hint. Because I uploaded the video and it did not get a content ID claim, like saying that, oh, it matched somebody else's copyright and something's happening with the video, like being monetized on their behalf or blocked or any of that stuff. And the day after I posted the video, strike number 2. Then July 1st, 2012, the first strike from August 2011 finally expired. But then about 17, 18 days later, got back to 2 strikes. Because there was this genre that other people did where you went through a pay-per-view and showed all the times that a finisher was being done during a pay-per-view, all in chronological order, to count how many finishers were being done in a show. And I remember I had one for Survivor Series 2003, and that got a strike. It was up for a little while, but that got a strike, which was Odd because I know there was another channel that also did one with the same pay-per-view and everything, so a little odd there. And that once that happened, that's when I made the original TheDoubleZTV channel. I told myself, make another channel, try to avoid this stuff going forward. Try to make it like a safe haven of sorts to avoid copyright. Then August 10, 2012 hit. The day before my 2-year anniversary of uploading on YouTube, WWE gave me the third and final strike to take me down. It was a 29 to 30 second clip showing Taz's entrance at Royal Rumble 2000 to show the reaction that he got from the crowd. And just like that, my first channel is gone. And I believe I've mentioned this before, I almost quit YouTube because of it. Because that was a hard-hitting loss. I mean, there are so many videos that were on that channel that I can never get back. Like, there's some that can be replicated. I know, like with OMG moments and everything with higher quality, but my initial beginning videos, where I started talking on camera and everything, those are long gone. No way to salvage any of those. Which is a massive shame, because it's like, yeah, those videos were bad, but I wouldn't mind still having them and on YouTube to show people, it's like, hey, here's how I was before when I first started, and here's how I've progressed. Because I don't think there's anything wrong with that, showing how far you've grown as a content creator. And, like, I've also even changed the editing software I eventually used. I think the next one was, like, VideoPad Video Editor after Windows Movie Maker, so changed things up a little bit. And even also around 2011, 2012, I upgraded to using Vegas Pro. Big jump there. But, I mean, if it wasn't for Deanna, I would have walked away. Hands down. Because she was there for me the day that I lost my channels and gave me that support to continue despite that. And even just talking about her is not easy. Because, I mean, next month it's going to be 7 years since I lost her. But, I mean, she was easily my number one support. And like I said, without her, I would not have continued past that point. But then after losing the original channels, when the copyright Armageddon 2012 hit that I've mentioned in the podcast, September 2nd, 2012, Double Dark Z is gone, which was a channel where I used to upload full WWE matches. 13 days later, September 15, 2012, my highlights channel, WWF WWE Highlights, was gone. And then in February 2013, Double Z's The Man was gone. So 4 channels gone within the course of 6 months due to copyright strikes by WWE. I mean, I did have a nice moment there with the original Zuniga's The Man channel where one of the videos got put on the WWE 13 website by THQ, which was nice. I've already documented that, but that was like one of my first cool moments and memories that, even though all that's gone, I can still look back and say, like, hey, this was an awesome moment to have happen during the time. But then, like, having to lose all that stuff and having to start over with some stuff is just not easy. Especially when it's content that you didn't have backed up. So, I mean, TheDoubleZTV became, like, my safe haven channel. I told myself, avoid trying to get strikes here. Avoid the copyright problems. And surprisingly, like, I had that channel for almost 8 years, never had a strike. From when I created in July 2012 up until what happened in 2020, never had a takedown for copyright or community guidelines on that channel. Thank fuck. So then, like, I don't even know how many channels I went through since I started on this platform. Like, every channel that I've ever had has always been with the purpose of uploading content. So it's like, instead of bundling everything in one channel, which was originally what I was doing on the original TheDoubleZTV channel, but then people advised me, don't lump everything together in one channel, make other channels to kind of have each channel have its own theme and, like, core, like, connection with the content, so it's not all scattered and all over the place. Because you cluster just about everything together in one channel, it's going to be hard to grow a specific audience. Like, you might be able to do it with some, like, people might come to check out everything, but it's like, nobody's going to watch a channel that's got, like, videos where we talk about wrestling, and then vlogs, and then rants, and WWE, like, some WWE footage, and whatever else. Like, just almost like a mixed bag of, like, different kinds of content all mixed into one channel, because that's too much. Really too much. So that's why I've got more than one channel, and that's why I've tries to make sure things have a theme. Outside of the current Zuniga's Man channel, that is, I'll just leave that as the variety channel because I don't want to have to keep making channels to separate every single thing. But it's like, I lost count of how many channels I've gone through over the years. I mean, like, I've had channels that I've taken down, like Double Z Tributes, which is like, did like some tribute videos and like stuff with like WWE pay-per-view themes a little bit. And I eventually took that channel down because they'd also got strikes, but I manually took that channel down myself to pretty much not have another channel fully taken down for copyright strikes. But then, like, one of the biggest things I remember, I believe it had to have been in 2013, after I lost Double Z's Man, was when I created the original Double Z WWE. That was, like, the big changing channel. Like, I initially tried to do just small clips and everything, like I've done in the past, to try to avoid a content ID claim with WWE, make sure they can't track the video and take it down and all that other stuff. But I remember the video that changed my mind there. I uploaded the post-match, like, footage where Chris Jericho got fired and taken away when he left WWE in 2005 after losing the match to Cena. And Eric Bischoff's like, "You son of a bitch, you're fired." You all know that, man. Now, I remember I posted that video, and then afterwards I started to progress more into uploading full segments, full matches, and stuff like that. But then I made a decision that I wish I had never done, which was getting on the grind of 2 videos a day every single day. Because I'm going to tell you all right here, right now, that is a bad thing to do. Because that is an easy way to really burn yourself out. Because I ended up doing that for I don't know how many years in a row. I would have days where I would come home after a long night at work, and then I realized, oh no, I only have a day or two's worth of content. Better open up Vegas Pro and start grinding out videos for the next several hours to keep up this daily upload freaking schedule. Which again, like I said, don't do that. Do not do that. Because before I even lost Double Z WWE, I was considering scaling back the content to maybe like no more than 5 days a week with 2 daily videos there for that time period, because it was getting to me. But I do remember, like, one of the best things, even with that channel, August 12th, 2017, August 12th, 2017, the channel hit 100K subscribers. Absolutely awesome. But then I got deflated, of course, because YouTube said, "Oh, you're not eligible for the silver play button." They couldn't pinpoint a reason why, so that was a big bummer. And then, of course, in July of 2019, hit 1 million. And then it was pretty much essential saying that, oh, not going to get the gold button either. I didn't bother asking YouTube. It's like, hey, you guys aren't going to give me the silver. I'm not going to ask for the gold because you guys are just going to give me the same answer as before. But even, like, I remember hitting that 1 million. And that was absolutely awesome. I was actually at work. And it ended up hitting 1 million during my last work hour of that day's shift. And I was just, like, I was kicking myself. It's like, I did not look at the Social Blade app with the live subscriber count active thing right there as it was happening. Because couldn't do that because my hands were tied. But, I mean, hitting that 1 million was absolutely amazing. It was absolutely freaking awesome. And one story I've never told, like, I know people are gonna be like downplay Double Z WWE, being like, "Oh, you only hit 1 million because you WWE content." Yeah, it's true, but my counter response to that is those numbers did not come overnight. It was a serious grind to get to that point. It's like, yeah, the content helped, but again, I had to keep grinding with the uploads and everything to get it to that point in the first place. That took a lot. But I do remember one thing that was said to me that I can still hold dear to this day. Was my dad even tell me that he was so proud of me. Like, he knows, like, YouTube has, like, making this content and everything has changed everything. It feels like it's given me something to do instead of just constantly working and kind of withering away with my mental health. It's given me something to do, preoccupy my time, let me have a creative outlet. And he told me he was so proud of me for what I've accomplished. So it's like, even when things are down, that's something I can hold dear to me. Nobody can take that away from me knowing that my dad told me he's proud of me. That means everything. But then 2020 kicks in, and we know what happened there. The night of WrestleMania 36 Night 2, Mark Scan Enforcement comes in, and WWE is gone. I think it was like 22 strikes in the course of a day. Because it was a gung-ho mission there. Like, I know there's still speculation still to this day about what really happened. I suspect that somebody narked out my channel and told Mark Skin Enforcement to come take me down. Because it was like almost like a planned attack there. Because the number of strikes that was hit. Because like I've said when I talked about how Mark Skin Enforcement destroyed a community, also on the podcast, it was like a different thing compared to the copyright Armageddon of 2012 with how all this went down. But that was a huge loss. Like, I think it was like April 5th, 2020. I know I wrote it in my diary trying to recall this. But losing that just as the Edge-Orton match was happening that night, WrestleMania 36 Night 2 for the last man standing match, that took me out of the show. I could not focus after that. And then the next day, this being during the pandemic, I remember waking up and I find out on my phone that my original TheDoubleZTV and TheDoubleZTV gaming channels were gone. Because YouTube decided, hey, these two channels are linked to a channel that's been terminated for copyright strikes. We need to take them down. Which was odd because the two channels they took down for those reasons were the only two channels that I had that were actually monetized. And I had two other channels that they did not touch. Zuniga is the Man, which is still up to this day, and WWE is War, which was a hidden channel that I also had that I was trying to grow on the side to see if I could grow that channel 100K without ever having any strikes and see if I would get the play button for that channel, which I manually took that channel down after losing everything to save myself that trouble again. But it felt weird that the two channels that they said were terminated for being linked to a channel for copyright strikes were the only two channels that were actually in the partner program, being TheDoubleZTV and TheDoubleZTV Gaming. But did I walk away this time? Hell no! I even told my grandfather that. When he advised me to walk away from YouTube after that, I just said, hell no. I was not going to let this company run me off. So, I mean, it was either that day or the next, creating new TheDoubleZTV and TheDoubleZTV gaming channels, but I did not want to create a new WZWE channel because I did not think it was ever safe to come back. And it was around that time also where I remember Brothers of Destruction 22 and Attitude Pop deleted all their videos to save their channels. And I know they eventually came back because they pretty much did not want the channel sitting there, and they said to themselves, because I remember they told me, they were like, we're just going to get back to uploading, and if we lose our channels, so be it. Like, they did not just want the channels being dormant. But then we noticed that the channels were not being taken down. Because I noticed a pattern with the strikes that were happening on WZWE was that once April of 2020 happened, any videos that I was uploading were getting blocked to multiple countries, with one of the countries there being India. The same country that Mark Scan Enforcement is located in. And none of those videos that were blocked in multiple countries got hit for copyright strikes. And that's when we realized that was a safe haven. Because any new videos that Attitude Pop and Brothers of Destruction 22, and at the time Orton is God was also doing, any of those videos that they're uploading from that point on were getting blocked in multiple countries and not being taken down. So when I saw that and was also having people messaging me asking me to bring back WZWE, and they wanted me to return and all that stuff, by December 2020, I created a new channel, and then January, I believe it was January 4, 2021, I probably got the screenshot somewhere where the original channel banner that I had advertising the return finally came back. And I also got to give a thank you to Attitude Pop and Brothers of Destruction 22 for shouting the channel out, letting people know that I came back. Finally started getting back on the uploads again. But then I scaled back because I was starting to get burned out, because I mentioned this in a post I uploaded way too many videos in 2021. Between all four of my channels now, TheDoubleZTV, the gaming channel, ZunaGuzman, and WWE, within the calendar year of 2021, I had uploaded over 1,200 videos between all four of those channels combined during that year. That's too much. Period. Because it's like the only other period where I took a break, I only took 2 other breaks, even uploading on WWE before this. Because like I took 2 weeks away in May of 2018 because there's a problem that I alluded to in the Lost 2018 video that caused me to step away. And I also took time off, I think it was like a month after my grandmother passed in late 2019 because that was a huge hit. And the first thing I did after my grandmother passed, I let people know in a community post saying, hey, effective immediately, uploads are on halt because of this. I have to step away and focus on just like getting away and clearing my head. And I'd say about 99% of the people were respectful, and I thank them all for that. But there were people I blocked because they were being assholes, being like, oh no, keep uploading, your grandmother will understand. So I blocked them from the channel because I consider them to be very inconsiderate for that. It's like, I'm not going to prioritize uploading content after having the biggest personal loss of my life. Like, my grandmother had been there for me ever since the day I was born. I was there for her up until she took her final breath. I am not going to have the mental energy of any kind, or even the emotional energy, to focus on content after that. So I had to step away for a month. But after 2021 hit, and I realized how many videos I uploaded, I realized I've got to ease it up on myself, because I did not want to burn myself out again. So that's why, even to this day, that's why you probably see large gaps in uploads on WWE. I've tried to get some videos back up again to try to get to the road of 100k subscribers. That's why I even changed the channel banner just recently, because even if I don't get the play button for this channel, I at least want to be able to look back and say, hey, hit 100k more than once. I want to do that with that channel at some point. Hopefully maybe this year or next year, just depending on how the growth happens again. But it's just like, ever since 2022, I told myself, ease up a bit, don't overdo it, don't burn yourself out. Because again, like I said, with the way I was running ZWE before, it was overkill. Because I think other people can admit, if you have multiple channels, it's not easy to do. Because, like I said, I've got 4 channels right now, and I operate them all on my own. All 4 channels that I've got now, single-handedly running with uploads, freaking thumbnails, etc., etc. But it's like, the schedule I have now, I find it to be easier just because, like, I don't feel like it's taxing on my mental energy, because it's like, this channel, it's at least 1 upload a week, trying to do the Wrestling vs. the World podcast every Wednesday, and sometimes I'll have another video, sometimes it'll be like on a Friday for a bonus thing. ZWE, it's whenever I feel like it, because again, I can't push myself out to do that kind of schedule from before. My gaming channel, the only reason that's easy to do the upload schedule that I've been doing now, like, when I was having to restart the channel, I was doing like up to 3 uploads a week, like every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Now I've scaled that back to Mondays and Fridays only, because the channel has not seen any growth, which I know is hard to do for a gaming channel, because the genre of people doing like walkthroughs and funny moments and all that stuff is overdone here on YouTube. But the gaming channel, I kind of scaled back that a little bit, and it's easy to do because a lot of the content that's been posted is archived content, and there's some that's been mixed in as new content. But I feel like that's been easier because not having to focus on constantly making new content over and over for the gaming channel. And then ZunaGuzman, I also upload whenever I feel like it. So it's just like, the schedule that I do now, where at least one channel is consistent with newer content, I find that to be easier, and then the other ones just whenever I feel like it, because again, with the stuff that I've got going on, 4 channels, a relationship, my full-time job being third shift, the subreddit, keep an eye on the Discord server, and some other things from time to time, I don't have the energy to just be putting out as much content as possible. I mean, I can at least say that there was a positive with this channel, as well as being back in the partner program after grinding like with content, getting the numbers up, which is awesome. But and that was even a common misconception I also want to clear up before I end the podcast episode, because I've been accused of this multiple times, and it's time to put this to bed because I'm tired of talking about this. I've had so many people especially Sean, who's done this more than once, accusing me of making ad revenue money off of WWE. That is not possible. If you need a tutorial, there are videos out there that can teach you about the Content ID system here on YouTube. When you upload a video, as it's being uploaded, the audio and visuals will get scanned and compared to all the copyrighted material that's in their database. Whether it be videos like from movies, TV shows, music, etc. And if the video is detected to have copyrighted material in there, especially a certain amount of it, then it will get tagged for that, and then whatever happens to the video is based on the policy that's set for that piece of material. So the video could be allowed on YouTube and be monetized on behalf of the copyright owner. It can be blocked in some countries or worldwide, could have muted audio, or be taken down for a DMCA takedown notice, which could be done quickly, like after the video is uploaded, or eventually down the line. But with every ZTV video that I upload, it gets Content ID matches every single time. It gets matched for the visuals because it's WWE content, and then with the end screens that I do, it gets matched for the music that I use at the end, for those last 20 seconds. So it's technically impossible for me to make money off ZTV with those videos. It's not possible, period. Every video gets a Content ID match because YouTube recognizes saying, hey, this is WWE's content and it's up because WWE is allowing it to be up and it's monetized on behalf of WWE. I can't make a cent off that content. But yet there are so many people that keeps trying to say otherwise, which again, if people need a lesson, please learn about the Content ID system. Whether you have to look through like a Google document, or through like their support page or watch videos on it, learn about that. It's easy to understand. Once again, myself and channels like Brothers of Destruction 22, Attitude Pop, Sablelicious, so on and so forth, we can't monetize these videos. It's not possible. We don't make money off this content, period. The only way you can make money off this kind of content is if you use it for a transformative nature. So like if you're using it for visual, for like a visual aid for like a review of some kind. That's an example. But it's just like, there's so many people that are misinformed. They immediately just keep thinking, oh, you guys are making money off these videos. Not possible. Please learn, please. But yeah, it's just unbelievable to think. 14 years of this. And even when I had to restart TheDoubleZTV to give myself something to do and to try to regrow this current channel for when I had to start over, did a bunch of live streams every single night while I was away from work due to the pandemic shutdown. I mean, that actually was pretty fun to do. Like, grow the channel, live stream, play video games, give myself something to do and try to give people entertainment. Whether people find it entertaining or not, it's subjective. But, and I know I've also scaled back with the live streams because I guess this should be the last talking point. In fact, I'll make two more talking points here. Drama and kind of mixed with drama, the doxing thing. I'll bring up the doxing thing first. Because of a certain ex-friend, myself and others got doxed pretty badly within the course of a year. Myself and others had our personal information leaked out, their cell phone numbers, addresses, all that other stuff, and as a result, we had stuff sent to our homes. Pizza, religious literature, so on and so forth. It was just so stupid and unnecessary. All because somebody out there couldn't shut his mouth. If you know who, I'm sure people who have seen a past video before, you know who I'm referring to. Somebody who just does not use their head. But that was really something that really became problematic. Because it's I've always maintained saying that privacy means everything, but there are people there who just don't care. They don't respect that. They want to invade your privacy and do whatever they want because they just have no regards for how you feel. And it's stupid because it's I'm not going around leaking somebody else's private information, like their address or anything like that, so why would somebody think that's a good idea to do to me? Unjustified. And especially because somebody else is acting, so they think, oh, you gotta suffer. Which is there's no logic in that. But then the last thing I want to talk about was also reflecting on drama, because I admit I've had my fair share of it. There are plenty of people that I've had issues with and made videos against all these years. I remember I've had issues with Shady C Network, Sean, which we all know the live stream that happened a little over a month ago, Brian, aka the Alabama Boy, the certain ex-friend that I was mentioning a little bit ago that you all probably know who I'm alluding to, Wrestling Otaku, and probably some others that I can't remember off the top of my head. But it's just like, even drama/response videos with stuff like that, that's not even a common thing you see here, because it's like, I don't go out of my way to try to find people to, like, pick fights with or anything. My priority is just mind my own business and just focus on my content. If people have a problem with me, well, that's on them. I'm not going to try to sugarcoat things or say or do stuff to try to appease people. I'd rather be real. I'd much rather be real, because that's a more serious thing. I'm not going to say stuff to get people to like me or anything. If people don't like me, oh well. It's not my priority to make sure people like me or anything like that, because nobody should desire that. Nobody should desire to try to make everybody like them, because if you're just going to be focusing on trying to make everybody happy, make people like you and everything, you're going to make yourself miserable, because there are going to be sacrifices that come along with that. So don't do that, okay? Focus on yourself and making yourself happy at the end of the day. As long as how you live your life, and as long as what you're doing to make yourself happy is neither illegal nor actually harming anybody. It's like also the best advice I can give. And one other piece of advice that I can also give as I wrap this up, I want to give one piece of advice for anybody who's making content and you're wondering what to do in terms of like for motivation or anything, because I remember I had somebody ask me this years ago. His name was, I believe it was WWE Tyler Rocks 98, who I think has quit YouTube since then. One day out of nowhere, like when I had my original TheDoubleZTV channel years ago, I used to upload daily because I was that motivated, gung-ho and everything with the original channel. And he messaged me on Xbox and he asked me, how do you stay so motivated to upload daily? And I gave him the most simple advice I can give him, which I still give to anybody who's listening right now. Don't let others run your YouTube channel. Only do content you want to do. Don't let others tell you, do this kind of content. Don't do this. Do this. Do that. Don't do this. Don't do that. Only do the content that you, in your heart, want to do. Because that's the only way you're going to have any passion for what you do. If you focus on doing content just because other people tell you what they want you to do and everything, what they want to see, and it's content you don't have your heart in, your content's going to suffer. Like for me, I don't care to do content like ASMR or food reviews, stuff like that. So, I don't do that content because it's content that does not interest me. It's content I can't put my heart into. So I avoid it. Content that I do now, it's content that I, in my heart, want to do. That's why I do the podcast for like Wrestling versus the World every week, because I genuinely enjoy it. And it's like an easy thing of a one video a week podcast like upload schedule rather than just overdoing it and driving myself into the ground. But it's content that I consistently do because it's content I enjoy. And that's a piece of advice I want everybody who's making content to do. Don't do content that other people tell you to do. And also don't do this whole thing of just doing content to jump on trends to grow your channels, because that doesn't exactly have a good like reputation there. You got so many people that get criticized for jumping on trends and only doing that because that's your only focus. You're jumping for clout and trying to grow your channel just by the easiest way possible. Only do the content that you in your heart want to do. Don't try to have others persuade you and try to convince you to do this kind of thing or do that. Just focus on doing the content that you in your heart say to yourself, I want to do this. Because that's the only way you're going to maintain passion for this at the end of the day. So anyway, golly, this has been a long episode. Holy crap. Anyway, I also want to close off here saying thank you to everybody who's ever been watching me for the last 14 years. It is absolutely insane to think about that even after all the stuff that's gone on, constantly having to start over, the copyright and community guideline strikes, WWE getting hacked like a couple of years ago, which I've also already discussed, the Mark Skeen enforcement debacle, the drama, the stalking, the doxing, harassment, all this other stuff. It's crazy to still think that I'm still here. That I still got the passion to keep doing this. It's absolutely nuts. But like I said, I still want to say thank you to everybody who's ever watched me. No matter which channel you may have watched, no matter how many videos you may have watched, seriously, thank you. Like, being able to know that, like, people want to watch any of the stuff that I ever do of any kind, that's awesome. Whether I'm live streaming a video game, whether I'm talking about a wrestling topic, whether I'm doing an Ultimate Rant video, a gaming video that's been pre-recorded, commentary, a video on ZTV or whatever. Thank you for watching. Seriously. So anyway, if you all want to leave your thoughts or any memories that you want to share of my content, if you wish to do so, you don't have to. But if you want to, feel free to do so in the comment section below. And I'll catch you all in the next upload. And again, thank you for everything for the past 14 years. And I don't plan on stopping. Especially with the Wrestling vs. the World podcast. I've got so many episodes set for the next 10 plus years. Okay? So that shows that this is still going to keep going for quite a long time. But to close off the episode, folks, thanks for watching or listening, folks. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace out, and good day, everybody.